from this amazing speech last night in Philadelphia.
Donald Trump sees the world a little differently than us. First of all, he doesn't know the first thing about service. He doesn't have time for it because he's too busy serving himself. Again and again and again, Trump weakens our economy to strengthen his own hand. He mocks our laws. He sows chaos and division. And that's to say nothing of his record as president. He froze in the face of the COVID crisis. He drove our economy into the ground. And make no mistake, violent crime was up under Donald Trump. That's not even counting the crimes he committed.
You can see Kamala Harris trying to hold in her laughter at the end there. That line delivered so perfectly, and he has another joke that I'm going to share from that speech that was so good. But I was watching some coverage of this speech last night. This was apparently one of the first times he's ever used a teleprompter. So while he was in the interview process, he told them, hey guys, I got to let you know something. I don't use a teleprompter in my speeches. So you're going to have to teach me how to use one. And he was apparently practicing backstage before the speech last night and just nailed it. The people that are best on teleprompters are the ones where you can't even tell they're on a teleprompter. Like I was watching this speech. I wasn't sure if he was on one. I figured he had to be because there's a lot there, but I wasn't sure because his delivery is just so natural. And I think he goes off script a few times there as well. So he's a complete natural. He's such a fantastic communicator and really comes across as somebody who is a real person, not your standard politician that some of the other VP choices that she had in front of her, I think fit more into that box. Not that they would have been terrible, but you have someone here who is more folksy, who is more down to earth. Again, a high school teacher. He had a whole career. He was in the military, a whole career before he even joined Congress. This is just a real person, and it shows through the speech. I'm going to get to, again, more clips from the speech, but I want to just go back and forth with some reaction from Republicans over the Tim Walz pick, because they are losing their damn minds and they do not know how to attack this man. This was a funny one from Fox News last night.
Jessica, I have to ask, why did he honeymoon in China?
What?
He's been to China 30 times. That's strange.
Oh,
I find that
was he there with Hunter Biden?
Suspicious.
Okay.
Someone should look into it.
Okay, well, here we go. This person did. Looked into it for Jesse Waters. Tim Walz taught American history, culture, and English for a year in China in 1989, volunteering with Harvard's World Teach program. During their honeymoon, Gwen and Tim led 2 high school tour groups there. You MAGA really have no concept of servant leadership or Google. This is look, I know we're talking about Fox News here. I don't expect anything better. But a primetime cable news show, millions of people watching, you didn't think to do a basic search to be able to explain why? No, of course he didn't, because he knows if he did, then he wouldn't have an attack line here. But this goes to show it's purposeful ignorance. They purposely don't want to know the facts because they want to be able to spread propaganda in a way that comes across as authentic to them. It's disgusting. Here is another fantastic clip from last night.
Some of us in here are old enough to remember. I see you down there. I see those old white guys. Some of us are old enough to remember when it was Republicans who were talking about freedom. It turns out now what they meant was the government should be free to invade your doctor's office. In Minnesota, we respect our neighbors and their personal choices that they make. Even if we wouldn't make the same choice for ourselves, there's a golden rule. Mind your own damn business. That includes IVF. And this gets personal for me and my family. When my wife and I decided to have children, we spent years going through infertility treatments. And I remember praying every night for a call for good news. The pit in my stomach when the phone rang, and the agony when we heard that the treatments hadn't worked. So it wasn't by chance that when we welcomed our daughter into the world, we named her Hope.
It is so wild to see a campaign, a Democratic campaign, actually know how to campaign and frame a message. People for so long have been wanting Democrats to reframe the discussion around freedom and family values. Who's actually for those issues? You have here Tim Walz. Again, you could not design a more perfect VP candidate to go up against JD Vance in a lab. Tim Walz had children through IVF. JD Vance, in June, voted against the Right to IVF Act, which would have protected accessibility and affordability of in vitro fertilization services nationwide. Who's actually for family values? Who's actually for freedom? Let me get to a couple more reactions from the loons. Here is Stephen Miller.
He is a moron, he is an incompetent, he is a radical, and he is going to turn the entire Midwest into a third world state. This is a disaster for America. We have to beat this guy, and we have to beat Harris in November.
All right. Yeah, run on that. Lunatics. This is like, you're not beating the weird allegations by having Stephen Miller be one of your spokesmen here. Let's get to Ben Shapiro, who went on like a 7-minute rant about the Tim Walz debut. Here's a piece of that.
If you go back far enough, he was a high school football coach. And don't you know, he's a teacher and a high school football. He's basically Mr. Feeney, but more athletic. He's like Ed Asner, avuncular, moderate, just one of the boys. You know, a guy who can crack a beer and can shoot a rifle, but is also really, really in favor of gun control and transing the kids. That's basically the pitch in favor of Tim Walz. So she does this routine. These rallies are incredibly well choreographed. I will say that. They are very well choreographed. She calls for a chant, and a chant goes up. First Democratic rally I've seen for a while where people start actually cheering.
Choreographed? It's a political rally. Chants happen. What the fuck are you talking about?
And why are they cheering USA? Because she says, what an amazing country this is. What an incredible country where a person like me, middle-class person, or Tim Walz, middle-class person, can become the president and vice president of the United States. Now, I agree with that. But she doesn't agree with that. She believes that America is systemically racist. So does Tim Walz. Tim Walz said, if you go back...
Oh my God. So stupid. Ben Shapiro is so worked up that you'd think Cardi B dropped a new music video. Like, go back to what you're good at, Ben. Music videos about rappers or from rappers. And is there a new Barbie movie? Has Barbie 2 been announced? I'm sure he'll have a few videos about that. Lunatic. Let's get to the next clip from Tim Walz, showcasing once again how he is so good at delivering a line.
Like all regular people I grew up with in the heartland, JD studied at Yale, had his career funded by Silicon Valley billionaires, and then wrote a bestseller trashing that community. Come on! That's not what middle America is. And I gotta tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy. That is, if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So, you see what I did there? You know it, you feel it. These guys are creepy, and yes, just weird as hell. That's what you see. That's what you see.
Absolutely perfect. Hilarious. The couch line. Oh my God. I did not expect him to do a couch line. And the brilliance of that line is even if you don't know the JD Vance couch story and that whole meme, you still enjoy the line. Like, you know, it doesn't have to mean anything more than what it was. But if you know the meme, then it's absolutely hilarious. And then